In 2020, shortly before the pandemic, I started to receive the symptoms for and was later diagnosed that year with what can only be described as a panic disorder. And for the first 23 years of my life, I had never really experienced anything like it. I'd been anxious before, I'd been nervous before, I had been plenty depressed before, but all of it got, every point of view I had was just completely dethroned by this serious physical arrest. Sometimes I wish that there was a reason why I was panicking or why I was trembling and crying and hurting. I'm convinced sometimes that the actual hand of death would not be as painful or as terrifying as the feeling that I'm experiencing, because at least I know why. I have spent so much of my life, the last 4 years, just frozen in trepidation and just locked, and it hurts so much. And a lot of this journey I have felt so defeated, and I felt so abandoned by God. Like, hey, if you're the guy who can heal everybody, if you have the power to heal, like, why didn't you heal me? It's frustrating. But as I lived on through this, I started to find really wonderful doctors and therapists and family members and friends and support, and I learned the rhythm. I learned how to fight it. I learned how to live with it even if I can't fight it. I learned how to step out of it a little bit. But one of the truly most transforming things that I found was a song actually by a band called Ghost Ship. It's called Where Were You? And it's singing out this beautiful speech that God gives Job in the book of Job. And he is asking Job, where were you whenever I laid the foundations of the earth? Do you hunt the lion's prey? He lists off this long, detailed list of ways that he is more powerful and supreme. And it just kind of, for a moment, I just admit, it felt like I'm hearing the same story I've heard. But then there's this one line. It doesn't quite read like this exactly in the book of Job, but this one line, how they said it in the song, was, does the lightning ask you where it should strike? And that froze me completely. It was like I was transported back into some room with God, and he's telling me the same story I feel like I've heard over and over again. And then all of a sudden I hear this part of the story that I've never heard before, and it captivated me. It brought me in, and I go, wait, every lightning bolt, every single one. And just because I have this panic disorder, just because I'm sick and I don't know why, and just because I am suffering and a doctor can't just give me a shot and fix me, it doesn't mean that you are not there and that you are not my hope. And I would say that has been one of the most radically changing aspects of my story is taking a moment to remember who God is and trusting in him as my hope. And so I've had some of the most tender and sweet moments of just being vulnerable, of suffering and crying and just going, God, please be with me. Please be with me. There's something profound about the peace that I get. There's something profound in knowing that he's the one who tells the lightning where it should strike. And that night, whenever I heard that song, there was a huge lightning storm. It's the kind where the lightning doesn't strike, so it doesn't make noise. It's not raining. It's not really even that terrible, but it was like a fireworks show. I just remember staring out my window, looking up at the sky, seeing those big bright flashes of lightning, and realizing that with my God, no matter where I go, no matter where he takes me, no matter how much better I get, no matter how sick I get, with my God, I will be okay.